What is going on, Cubs fam? We are back for another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video, and as you can see, I have brought on some guests for me today. We have got the whales back, well, mostly whales, to talk about this Arnold situation. I want to get some feedback out to you guys in the community on how these guys are feeling about what happened, both with the Arnold situation, but what I'm actually a little bit more concerned about, what I would actually like to talk about probably a bit more, is the screenshot that was brought to light with Arnold or with Lucifer's daddy on Arnold's video discussing cheaters and how CG has handled cheating, i.e. giving them options on when their sentence starts, and their sentence is only a week. This is like some Pablo Escobar crap here right now, my friends, getting to pick his own prison kind of thing. So anyway, let's get right into it. Let me make some introductions here. We got Fulbright on the far left. Fulbright, how you doing today?
Oh man, I'm happy to be here. Can't wait to talk about this.
All right, so Fulbright, for perspective, we won't do an amount accounting, but Fulbright is we'll just say, pretty hefty whale and leader in this community, leading one of the most prominent communities in Galaxy of Heroes, especially from a Territory Wars perspective. If you're going up against a Shadowlands community, most of us are probably going to be shaking in our boots. Heinzie is my guild leader. You guys know him. You usually see his face. Today we're just seeing his Discord icon. How you doing, Heinzie?
Hey, how are you, Cubs? Thanks for having me on, brother. It's an absolute pleasure as always. And dude, I'm so much more than your guild leader, brother. You know that.
You're my lover too.
Mwah.
All right, Mall Pills, you've been on so many of these chats by now. Your name speaks for itself. You're a legend in the hall and in the Cubs fam and in the entire galaxy. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, and since I'm also in your guild and Heinz's guild, that was weird as shit. But you know, I mean, hey, good for you guys. Congratulations. It's 2020. Rock on.
Mole Pills, do your 600 tickets, bro. Just a message from my ticket officer. Sorry,
Hey, my 600 tickets are done, and so you can tell your guy to update his bot. Thank you.
Maybe none of us should be doing our 600 right now. All right, Ram Bam, you're up next. Always love having you on the channel. How you doing today?
Oh man, I've been better there, Cubs. But thanks for having me on the channel. I do appreciate it.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of raw emotions today. And speaking of raw emotion, you can always count on Ranger to bring you raw emotion. Ranger from Reality Skewed Gamers. What's going on, Ranger?
Oh, I'm fired up. It's time to drop some. It's time to drop some paint on these turd muffins right here. Let me tell you something. CG, prepare for a beating. I already did my video like everybody else.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, sounds good. So you guys have heard my take on this, and what I really want to do here is give voice to others who may not be heard as much, and get some of those feelings and raw emotions out for where you guys are at. I am recording this live on Twitch, so you may see some notifications pop up on the video. Little shameless promotion for my Twitch channel. I'm streaming every day, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is about when I'm starting. It's not a 15-minute stream. That's just the window of when I tend to start. And so I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to leave it open-ended for whoever wants to jump in there and fight for the first answer here. When the news broke today that Arnold had been banned for an account that he received, and also the news was new to some people. It'd been out there, but it was new to some people about how Lucifer's daddy handled that cheating situation. What are your first initial reactions to that?
They're done.
Yeah,
They're done.
I'll take stupid things CG does for 400, Trebek.
So my take is they're done, right? So the Project Maverick announcement was supposed to be last week. It was delayed. It's supposed to be tomorrow. I think it's bad for CG.
And real quick, so everyone knows what you're talking about. The Project Maverick is a code name for an upcoming Star Wars game announcement that is supposed to be announced soon. For EA. Yep. Okay, go ahead.
Right. It's reportedly, we don't know this, but leaks are reportedly it's a flight simulator game. But so reportedly it's it's out there, but it was going to be released last week or announced last week, obviously for good reason. They delayed it. It's supposedly going to be announced tomorrow. if it's announced tomorrow, this could it's a CG, it's a EA announcement, not a CG announcement, so it could be very bad for CG. And so I think I think they got bad news today, and I think they're reacting like children. And I'll just leave it there.
So you think that
I think this is related to Maverick.
they received bad news today,
Yeah, I think
like
I
the
think
game's
they're
getting
about
shut down.
or zero investment, or they're done, or like close up shop. But I've gotten more into why I think they're closing up shop later with their leadership change after Kerry. We can talk about after this, but yeah, I think they're done.
Okay.
Strategically, professionally, I think they're done. I think the end is far closer than we all thought it was. And if tomorrow happens and there's an announcement, I think we should all tune in like it's an it's an iPhone release like moment. Like we should all pay attention, because if it's real and there's a real game, it's going to signal a lot, and it's going to tell us everything we need to know about CG in this game on how it goes.
I really hope that that's not what this is, but I can see where your logic is going. Anyone else? Who else wants to get in there and share your first take?
I can hop in there, Cubs. You know me, I always got a different perspective, and to be honest with you, I kind of feel like me and my community, the Shadowlands, we've already been through this once, about 18 months ago.
Okay.
Where we had one of our guilds, there was 6 members of one of our smaller guilds that got banned for the whole crystal currency manipulation thing.
Okay.
And after seeing how Lucifer's daddy and the whole group kind of handled it, we kind of started this 7 stages of grief of seeing how they handled it. Like right now, I feel like everybody that I'm hearing is kind of in the shock and denial stage,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Where us as a community dealing with it and seeing what they did, we've already been through the pain and guilt, the anger and bargaining, and we kind of feel like we've shifted away to where we know that CG's not our friend.
Right.
CG's not going to be a partner with us. So all we got left is just our community. So we're kind of through that we're in that reconstruction part where we're trying to redefine why we play the game, and taking what's important to us and saying, CG, we know that you're going to do this stupid shit. We know that you're going to make the basically institute these unlevel playing fields that we have to overcome, and that's okay. That's part of the game to us now, because we're focused on what we enjoy
and what you can
what
control,
makes it fun, and what we can control, and screw those guys.
So it's like this acceptance of the injustice for you guys.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because I can tell you the stories later on in the chat, of what kind of went down, but this is nothing new to us at all.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and we will dig into that a bit more. And you've kind of alluded to what we're talking about specifically. That's less to do with Arnold's account ban and more to do with the cheating side of things and what CG's approach to that has been. Heinze or Rambam, you got, or Ranger, why don't you guys jump in?
Yeah, man, I'm up just quickly.
Okay.
So obviously, as you guys know, down under, we're on a different time zone to you guys. So when all that was going down, it was stupid o'clock here in Australia. Basically, it got to the point where I woke up as I normally do to go to work and found about 99 plus pings on my phone from
Good morning, Heinze,
woman, dog, and I thought, geez, what have I done now? That was my first thought. And then obviously going through it all, it's like, dude, Arnold's account got banned, and I've gone, oh wow, okay. So my original thought straight away was, when that happened, something's going on. Didn't know why. Apparently, cheating, whatever it was, I still didn't know. I obviously heard the rogue actions on the way to work.
Yeah.
Obviously filled me in with what was going on. Great work, by the way, as always.
Thank you.
And got my head around it all. And really, man, it's a swipe at one of our own. That's the way I'm looking at it. For whatever reason, Arnold has done a lot for a lot of people, like him, hate him, whatever. He's been an integral part of the community, and man, it's a shot across the bow to all of us, and we're not going to sit down and obviously put up with it. I think that's proven already.
No, neither am I. Okay, well said. Ranger.
Well, my thought process in this is how goddamn stupid of a company. Either you're doing this on purpose or you're just blatantly stupid.
Yeah.
I'm going to say not stupid, although, I'm known for my rants against this company because, and I always look at it like I'm fair. When I've ranted on them, nobody has dropped bombs on CG more than I have. But I'm also fair. When they get stuff right,
Yes,
I
you
give
are.
them credit.
I like to think I'm the same way.
I think we all are, right? We just give an opinion, right? I think the problem with CG is so many things. First of all, they have the thinnest skin I've ever seen. I mean, good Lord in heaven. If you can't take any kind of constructive criticism and you want to be petty and go after people, fine. My biggest thing is not that Arnold, technically he broke terms of service. Okay, you want to ban him, fine. But you don't even talk to him about it. This is the thinking. This is what blows me away and pisses me off more than anything. On the one hand, you'll talk to cheaters and negotiate with their monkey asses, but the guy with the most views, with the most content, and the most people following him, who's been loyal to your game, whether you like what he has to say or not, it's just facts.
Yep.
You just say ban and you don't talk to him about it.
Yeah.
Who over there works there? I'm trying to decide if, besides brains, is that dog excrement? Is that just straight air? What is happening there? My background is business and marketing. I have seen CG just do stuff that is just mind-blowing that any other company would just tank. The only thing keeping this company going is that it's the Star Wars IP and our commitment as the community. And what does CG do? First of all, they shit on Arnold, and now they're shitting on the community. And I've just had enough of it. I've been patient with them, haven't ranted on them for a little while, but the more I think about this, the more I think CG is absolutely they're brain dead. I can't explain it. This is not normal practices for a company. The lack of communication is awful. The amount of money we spend in this game for what we get is awful. I can just go down the line as everybody else here can.
Yeah.
And so your response to Arnold, it's not to work with the guy and have some form of communication. We can get to the game changers and all the crap they pulled before. This is just adding pain on top of pain. And it has reached a point that I've had enough of CG. I play this game with the community just like you do, and Heinz and everybody else, because we like interacting with people, and it's a family. We're a family.
Agreed.
You don't mess with our family, because I'll be the first one there to lay paint on your ass. And until you understand that, CG, I hope they tank. And I hope people get fired. I watched what Urs said. I hope people get fired. They need to be fired. This is some of the dumbest, forgetting basic 101 marketing crap I've ever seen. Good Lord. I'm sure I'll say some more stuff. I've run a little crazy.
So I love what you just said about how they it's like we're a family and they've gone after one of our own. And that's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly how I feel. And some people love Arnold, some people don't, but he's part of our family. And I think everyone, regardless of how they feel about it, should feel some degree of defense for Arnold right now because of what happened. And I think an important point to raise is something that Eckhart's Ladder talked about in his video. A major Star Wars YouTuber, mainstream Star Wars YouTuber, talked about this today. I was interviewed by him, and he gave light to the issue to the general Star Wars community. And something that I think is interesting. I'll ask this question to illustrate the point that I'm getting at. Of everyone here, how many of you in your guilds know somebody, don't say who, because they'll get banned, I guess, but how many of you know somebody who is playing an account currently that was gifted to them, or they purchased, or that was transferred to them in one way or another? How many of you know somebody like that?
Well, I won't talk
We
to.
all have to raise our hands.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
I won't say
I don't
that
think there's
I
one of
might.
us that can't raise our hands to that.
Yeah, I won't say that I might have shared my account to another content creator or two or three or four or five.
Right. So
But
not just sharing the
Allegedly,
accounts, because we
allegedly,
got a
allegedly.
couple different issues of like just sharing your account so a streamer can talk or can do the grand
but that,
arena.
no, but that does
That violates terms
violate.
of
Well,
service.
we
Yes,
do need to
yeah.
talk about that, but I'm talking about people in your guilds who are playing an account that they did not start with.
Okay, can I answer this one? Can I jump in here?
No,
Phil?
please.
Go for it.
Okay, all right, okay. So as many of you know, obviously, part of the ANZGC community, right?
Yeah.
We got 27 guilds in there. Okay, 27 guilds. I know of a ridiculous amount of people that have given up the game. Last year, it started pretty heavily when Relics came out, to be honest, and quite a lot more since that time that have decided to walk away from the game because they've had enough of the gouging and all the other stuff going on, right? I know for a fact that many of them wanted to keep their account in the community. They wanted to keep it alive instead of walk away from it. And many of those people have given their accounts to people that will never get close to playing with these characters because of the minimum requirements that are always needed and always required. And because of that, they have gifted their accounts to others to play and enjoy. And they are thriving and really still loving this game because of that.
We all know
new.
somebody, and there
thousands
are
of people.
thousands, if not tens of thousands, who have done this. And so the question becomes, why Arnold? It is clearly not about account transfer. It is clearly not about the terms of service. It's clearly about going after and attacking one of the creators for this game. And
Correct.
if it wasn't about that, then they would have communicated to him. This whole terms of service thing with account transfer, the reason why they have that, it's actually about account sharing, because they don't want multiple people playing the same account to gain some kind of advantage with multiple people playing it. It's not about having a different body in front of the phone. That's not what it's ever been about, and that's why they've never done anything about this. This is literally the first instance I have ever heard of in this game of somebody being banned for this purpose. And it just so happens to be the figurehead of their community on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing that stinks. As I said, that they've gone over one of our own. That there is not one person that is watching this video right now, or anyone here in chat right now, that has not seen one of Arnold's videos and has not gained some sort of knowledge that they did not know before, that has not helped their overall gameplay in the last 5 years we've been playing this game. There is not one of us. He's,
It's truth.
Again, whether you like him or not,
Yep.
he has helped everyone. He has spent tireless hours that we will never know, doing things to help us and make us all better, plain and simple. And an attack on him is pretty,
It's an attack on the community.
Correct.
Yeah, so
it is.
So
And
here's the situation. Here's what I think the situation is, right? So I said this before. When Carrie left, right, a guy named Malachi Boyle came in to replace her as the GM of Capital Games for EA. He is a finance guy by trade. So he's worked at he's worked at EA and Lucasfilm in finance. He's a finance guy. He's about dollars and cents. He is the general manager of Capital Games right now. He started in September. September is when Carrie left. He replaced Carrie. You don't put a finance guy in charge of a creative mobile game if you're not responsible or trying to get finances out of the game. So the fact that he's there, and the fact that any of this happens is reality. It means the sands in the hourglass are getting thin. They're extracting the last little bit of revenue from predatory sales tactics and cost-cutting measures, which is why every one of us on our mobile phone or our BlueStacks sees connection error, connection error, connection error, 10 times like a stream or whatever, because they've either not increased resources or decreased resources because they're bean counting, because they're trying to extract the last little bit of dollars. Like look him up on LinkedIn, Malachi Boyle. He is a finance and planning guy his entire career. He's the general manager of CG. You don't put a finance guy in charge of a company if you're not trying to extract money out of the company. Full stop. Let that sink in. Give it a few seconds.
I've never been about a company not making money. I don't have a problem with that.
No, we've all accepted
And
that, haven't we?
yeah, you know, I mean, it is what it is, right? I
But
don't
when
think
it's
anybody's.
when it's your primary focus,
I know, but my thing is the bigger issues with CG is how much they charge. So that's a separate issue. Their lack of communication with content creators and the
why do
community
you
is
no
garbage.
value? Yeah, but why do you think they do that? No value. They're
Well, I don't
shutting
understand
it
how you
down.
don't. I know, but I mean, I just don't see how you not see value in a guy who is not paid by you pimping your stuff for free.
They
Like
hate
he is
they hate that
spending.
mentality,
How
by the
can you
way.
hate someone that spends that kind of money on that kind of account?
Yeah.
Right?
Because
It's
you
showing this
can't
stuff. I mean,
because
it just is asinine.
because you can't control the message and you don't own the content, right? So yes, I agree with you. In the net, some people will think, "Oh, Arnold is 150K YouTube subscribers. This is incredible." Every time he talks about SWGoH, it's awesome for SWGoH,
Right.
but it's content that CG cannot own, manage, manipulate because they don't own they can't tell Arnold what to do. So they don't own what he says.
Who
So
the hell
he
does CG think they are, though? I mean, every other game changer person out there that makes videos on video games. I mean, does CG does their shit not stink? Is there something special about CG that they don't know how other companies
their
operate that
primary
I'm not
focus
aware?
It's EA.
their primary focus is get 99 cents out of every dollar they spend.
Yes.
This is to Ranger's comment. Out of every Game Changers program within EA, this is unique to CG.
Yeah.
Where a dev team is this concerned about the message that is being communicated on YouTube that they would actually go out of their way to try and control that message. I want to shift the conversation because
Which to me it means it's about revenue.
yeah,
So I'll stop that narrative because I think there are some other angles we should talk about. But I think this is about narrative and revenue, and I really think this is about if Maverick gets announced tomorrow, right? So we're recording this Monday night, Tuesday morning for some of us in the East Coast. So if Tuesday morning or Tuesday whenever, if Maverick gets announced and it's a legit EA game and it's problematic for EA, I think this is a response to that because I think that means their days are numbered and they're doing something in retrospect.
I want to
So
thank
I think yeah, so I think Maverick is I think we need to talk about it. We can put it to the end, but I think we need to talk about Maverick.
I want to thank Urza for rating the Cubs fam right now. That's pretty great. Love Urza. I want to shift the conversation because what I think is more problematic right now, like there's two big issues right now on the table, in my humble opinion. There's the treatment of Arnold and the horrible PR decision that Capital Games has made to ban one of his accounts and target him for something that thousands of people are doing. That's a big issue, and I think one that we've kind of unpacked pretty thoroughly. But in my humble opinion, the bigger issue in this game right now is the issue of cheating and how Capital Games decided to handle this. Because this is no longer about PR decisions or what's going on at CG. This is about straight up horrible business ethics and abuse of their player base. And so I want to throw this up on the screen here. Here is I want to read this verbatim for you guys, and then I'd like to have a lengthy discussion on this actually. So this is a screenshot, and this news was not broke by Arnold, I understand. It was out there before, but I personally did not see it until Arnold's video, because he's the one with 151,000 subscribers who gave wind to a lot of this stuff, and so some of us may have missed it before. And so this is a message that Lucifer's daddy, the guy on the forums in charge of, handling any cheating reports, is sending to a player who was confirmed to have been hacking the game to gain a competitive advantage over an opponent. And he says this: "Now this all said, I ran your case by our EP, and they proposed that we look for an alternative to a permaban. This was mainly due to your general good standing and participation in beta." And so this is a beta player that they are communicating with. "I cannot let bad battles," so we're not calling hacking the game. We're not calling it hacking the game. We're calling it bad battles. "I cannot let bad battles go without some sort of reprimand. The proposal is to give you a 1-week suspension, followed up by notations on the account for no second chances. If we find something again, that is it. We are done. I will give you the agency to determine the beginning of the suspension. It just needs to start within the next couple of weeks. Let me know when we should kick that off, and please review the image I shared. Regards, Lucifer's daddy." This
I'm
to
gonna cut
me,
you off right there, Cubs.
Cubs.
They have a zero tolerance policy. I didn't know if you knew that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
they have told us they have a zero tolerance policy. This to me is, without question, the most despicable bit of information I have ever learned about Capital Games, bar none, in my humble opinion.
Let me just say this before people comment on the stream or on the chat or the message bar afterwards. It's been brought up by a couple people when you talked about this earlier in your live stream on Twitch today, that, and I think it might have been the Escape podcast or somebody else mentioned that this account that was subject to this negotiation, for lack of a better phrase, was subsequently banned for cheating. So yes, okay, I don't give a flying flamingo if they were subsequently banned. The fact that it started with a negotiation, for anyone that wants to bring up on the fact that they were, yes, ultimately banned,
Yeah.
is problematic, because they started with a effing negotiation on, yes, you cheated, but you know what?
They didn't cheat. They had a bad battle.
Yeah, bad battle. Yeah, you APK'd and you got caught, but for whatever reason, we're gonna ban you for a week, but you let us know the week that you're not in between a TB, a TW, a GAC, and you can let us know when it doesn't matter a rat's ass that we give you a week off to go play Marvel Strike Force while you're not doing this. Like, the hypocrisy is the problem. So for anyone that wants to say ultimately they banned that account, I don't give a shit or a flying flamingo that ultimately they did anything. The fact that they started with a negotiation means they're hot garbage and they don't have a leg to stand on. And if anyone says other, get over yourself.
All right. I'm
Get
glad
fuck over yourself.
I'm glad you got that out there. That's a good point, because what happened after doesn't matter. It's the fact that this is what CG was willing to start with.
They started with a negotiation. I don't care if they banned that person. I don't care if they sent special agents to that person's house and like subscribe to their phone and ban them forever. The fact that they started with a negotiation means they don't give a shit.
It should have never gotten to this point to begin with, right? It's absolutely 150% should never have gotten to the point of, yeah, we're going to negotiate because you have good standing, which in my mind, you know, maybe not, maybe so, maybe not. In my mind, he was a Kraken of some sort, and
Had
so
to
they
have
didn't
been.
want to lose the financial burden of losing a player of that magnitude, right? Because obviously it's going to take a massive hit, especially if he's a 100K plus player. Uh, so good standing or not doesn't matter. He made the conscious decision to quotations bad battle, and so yeah, I'm absolutely 100% with Maul Pills. It doesn't matter what happened. I think Bulldog, regardless of how you feel about him or whatnot, I think he reported it a couple weeks ago. I think he was one of the first people to report it. And at that point, I think he even said the player was then subsequently banned after that. But the fact that we even have that screenshot from Lucifer's daddy to begin with, that's where the problem lies.
This
And
is
then,
this
you
is the
know,
worst thing I've ever seen from CG. It's not even close.
absolutely. I
It's
literally, I was at work when this news came out, and the first thing I did, I messaged Gridden. Out of everybody, I saw Gridden, and I was like, "Is this true? What's going on?
yeah.
How?"
And this
You went to
this
Gridden?
combined
Your first
with
message was to Gridden? Hold on. I love Grid. But your first message was Gridden?
Well, all right.
I'm kidding.
So,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just trying to bring some levity to
yeah,
a
yeah,
really
yeah.
serious situation.
Anyway, so I messaged Gridden because obviously we all know what Gridden does on his streams. We all
right,
know what I do on my streams. Not gonna go into details on that.
right.
But I was scared after I found out what was happening and what happened with Arnold and what happened with the cheating policy and all this stuff. I was scared. Legitimately, I'm like,
I think a lot of people
Is
are
this
right
the
now.
end?
Yeah.
Is this the end?" Because it was just it.
And
There's
this
literally if they
they've sent a message here. Whether they like it or not, they've sent a message that they are more concerned about undercutting their community than they are about the integrity of their game. Undercutting their community by banning an account out of thousands of accounts that have been transferred. This is the one they choose to ban, right? With Arnold. That is actually just an excellent resource for this community. They're going to ban that account while at the same time negotiate with confirmed cheaters, give them a slap on the wrist, let them choose when their jail sentence starts, give it only a week sentence, and that is okay with them. So they are sending a message here to us that they care more about undercutting their community than the integrity of their game. Fulbright, we
I
had
was gonna say, so speaking of community Cubs, right? So Fulbright and Heinze, community leaders, I would love their opinion because they lead communities.
Yeah, and Fulbright in particular has seen firsthand this kind of casual approach to cheating within his own community. And so, Fulbright, I'd love to get your perspective on this and how you felt about this screenshot when you saw it.
Well, it just brought up, stuff I'd seen before over and over in the past.
So this isn't just an isolated instance. This is you
God,
can
no.
confirm for us. This is a systemic issue with Capital Games on how they consistently handle cheating.
Well, let me just put it this way: there is no consistency in how they handle cheating. There is no consistency.
Okay, fair.
I mean, that's the thing. That's the issue. And I think that if they were consistent, we wouldn't be having this conversation. No, what I personally witnessed, was six accounts that got banned all at the same time, and we were like, it took all of us.
And these accounts were in your
leaders,
community.
They were in our community, and it took all of us at the upper level by surprise. Like, wow, how did this happen? Well,
Right.
well, then of course, once it happened, the perpetrators came clean and said, this is what happened. We were basically changing our using a VPN to basically change our location to Brazil, and we were buying vaults for like $20 or something. And you're like, oh wow, like I didn't even know you could do that, but apparently you can.
Nobody else
or
do
you
that,
could-
okay?
or you could at the time,
I'm just gonna
And,
move to Brazil.
yeah. So they basically banned these accounts. Well, what was word was a couple weeks later, one of them popped back up. It's like, well, that was interesting. But then another guy said, oh, well, they told me it'd be 2 to 3 months. Another guy said, "Oh yeah, here, let me show you this. Here's what Lucifer's daddy said. Well, we're going to ban you for 30 days. Let us know what you want. We have to audit your account, meaning we have to remove some content from it. Which characters would you like removed?"
Which
So they got
Are
characters?
you serious?
yeah. So it had to be something that he had bought Marquee, which it's not going to be the newest character. He's going to choose something that he bought Marquee, a year and a half ago, because it's already farmable again now.
Wow.
So kind of got to pick and choose what what he got removed. But it still, like one of the things that he said, get rid of was like, get rid of my Treya, because I'll have it back in no time, and it won't cost me anything to do it. And at that time, the Treya meta had already passed.
How can you
So
possibly issue a punishment like that and give the offender agency in where the punishment is issued?
Because
How-
you're
wha-
morally corrupt. You're morally corrupt, and you're chasing dollar figures, and you
well,
want revenue.
well,
Full stop.
what I
Full stop.
what I could tell you is this: there was one person that I did know that did get banned for logging into multiple accounts. He was basically logging into people's accounts to help them get past the Chewbacca event, and he logged into like 35 different accounts in one day, and they banned him.
Well,
So
there's
like
grid
doing
right
a
there.
gas so
But
like doing a gas event for 10 people or 20 people, yeah.
right.
So they banned his main account, not all of
they
the
banned
accounts
his
he
main
went
account.
into?
Not all the accounts he went to. They banned into his account.
Permaban.
And yeah, permaban. He's never gotten it back.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, what
But
was funny was
somebody who actually so he's doing a service for friends, right? He gets
Yeah.
permabanned, but people who manipulated crystal spending get a slap on the wrist and get to choose which characters get removed. And people who actually hacked the game, used an APK to have quote unquote bad battles to gain a competitive advantage, gain a 1-week ban, which they get to choose when it starts. That's the standard here.
Well, and that was the funny part. That was the thing that kind of got our discussion within Shadowlands started, was because we were thinking, well, there is no way they would have banned his account. He had to have been doing something fishy. Well, then after looking through his roster and stuff, man, it was just an average roster. There was nothing special about it. He hadn't acquired anything recent that, there was no other explanation, type of deal. And we were looking at it going, okay, well, how do we handle this as a community? What do we tell our people? This is kind of depressing because, he's just doing this for free, helping people out. And how they even got word of it was he was having a tough time logging back into, because he had unlinked his Facebook. So he contacted CG customer support for help and kind of tattled on himself, and then he got banned.
Which is kind of what happened with Arnold too.
Which is kind of what happened with Arnold too.
Yep.
So, I'm sitting here going, we had this big discussion of like, okay, well, we got guys inside our community that offer mod services, and very cheap, because it's just for people inside our community.
Right.
And stuff like that. Well, before the hotbot came about, you had to physically log into their account. Like, what do we tell people? How do we handle this to where we protect our community? So we just kind of, like, that's why I said League 2 earlier, we kind of went through this whole anger and resentment phase. And then we kind of re-rallied around and said, what do we do as a community to overcome these obstacles that they've kind of put up, to kind of remove them from the equation? And that's really where we are at right now. There's no doubt about that.
Heinze or Ranger, do either of you have anything else you can add to the cheating discussion? I know both of you are very, very intricately connected with this community and in leadership and in content creation. Any other stories or insight you can add to what Fulbright's sentiment was?
Yeah, look, I can quickly. We've obviously had to deal with instances of cheating. No one is rapt about that. Once, obviously, it had been found out, it gets dealt with swiftly, which it should be. No one wants cheaters in our game. No one wants that. Let's be 100% clear. if there is someone doing the wrong thing, call them out and get rid of them. We can't afford bad reputation. We want to play the game and know that we're going in fair. As much as humanly possible, we can work that out at least. But yeah, the issue is that really, man, they should be focusing more on content than anything else if they are actually going to keep going with this. I mean, let's be honest. We're just not getting anything for our money apart from a new character drop, a galactic chase, Crystal Refresh City, and it's just, look, it's hard to be positive. Taking the test accounts away, that's nasty. I still believe Arnold's the move on the account. I think that was a bit of a power grab. I really do. It was an alpha move, and I think they wanted to flex their muscle a bit as well and say, hey, we rule the roost here. Don't forget that. And man, we look after our own. It's not cool. You can tell by people in all the content creators that have either done videos or they've done streams today that I'm going to say it, they're pissed off. I'm sorry. You can bleep it later, Cubs, if you have to. But there's a lot of people that are absolutely filthy with what's going on, man, because it's just pure disrespect for someone that's done a lot for a lot of people in this game, and it's just disgusting.
The narrative is unanimous. So thank you for your insight. Ranger, did you have anything?
Well, I mean, yeah, just the final thing I'll say, for anybody out there, company, individuals, groups, whatever, the biggest thing you have is integrity. When you say you're going to do something, or you say this is the way it's going to be, then you have to stick by that. It's not easy, but it's what you have to do. Because when something like this, the cheating and negotiations and things of that nature goes counterproductive for what you said officially, that we have a zero tolerance policy and all the smoke.
Can you do that in more of a Trump voice? You were almost in the Trump.
Nobody does. Listen, this is all a bunch of baloney. I'm representing CG. CG's doing a tremendous job. Great Americans. They're banning the way they should. I say ban everybody, except if you're rich. If you spend a lot of money in the game, you get special treatment. It's unreal. I think CG's being treated unfairly. Just baloney. Who needs integrity? I don't need it. Look at all the people in chat agreeing with me. They love me. They're saying, yes, Trump's right. He's clearly right.
Ranger for president.
I'm from Australia. Who's Trump?
Okay,
listen, I'm going to invade your country.
Impersonation's fine. Let's end it there.
But no, it's integrity. You can't sit there and for instance have this come out. You have people like Bulldog who are still banned. The stuff that was just said about the other accounts and stuff like that. And then have this come up, and then you're gonna go after Arnold. It just looks bad. And the thing that just floors me, nobody sat there and said, this is Arnold's account. Before we do anything, you guys want to talk about this? Do we want to talk to him about this before we take any action and kind of
even if they're firm on it, like give him a heads up, give him an explanation.
Nothing. Like they didn't. Like I don't even know what the discussion was. There's like, so you want to ban him?
Do it.
So
you sure?
Oh.
Yeah.
Cubs, I had one last thing.
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Fulbright.
Man, this is important. CG has always operated like a Gestapo.
Yeah.
I mean, they really have.
Are.
Where anybody that is vocally has any sort of criticism at all, they try to silence them. We kind of touched on that.
Yes.
But they kind of go for the big leaders of the community. They know that a lot of the people that play this game, I've seen it in the comments where people accuse us whales or whatever being addicted to the game almost like drugs. Okay, but if you look at like Bulldog, McMull, now Arnold, I mean they go after anybody that is kind of like a figurehead, and we always talk about community and how great the community is and this and that. But the one thing that this community has never done, even though we support each other individually, we've never come together as a group to kind of create an underground movement to get what we want from CG. And in the spirit of 2020, with all this crazy damn year, with all the shit that has gone on, now should be a time for us to do that. I really and truly believe that.
I
But
agree.
it's going to take all the figureheads to say, hey, it's time for us to band together, and we're not gonna play by their rules anymore. They're gonna have to give us what we want if they want us to keep funding their game. And if Pills is right and it's about to go down the shitter, well, what do we got to lose?
So, Fulbright,
So let me-
to make sure I'm understanding you right, I mean, you are somebody who's spent almost $100,000 on this game. I think maybe above that now.
Yep,
Above. Are you calling for a spending boycott?
I am. I really and truly think that I am. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think that we can generate our own fund. If all they're going to give us is a collection game, they just need to announce it so we can treat it like a collection game. But it's supposed to be a strategy RNG based game.
Okay.
So what are we doing? I mean, are we playing Pokemon, going around collecting stuff, or are we actually trying to fight each other, have some fun, see who's best?
Now,
See
I'll
who has
say
the best
this.
mind for strategy. I mean, what kind of game is this? They need to give us what we are here to play.
I'll say this in reference to a spending boycott. As somebody who does not spend on this game any longer, I have never felt like it is my place to call for something like that. But I will say, Fulbright, that if that is something that you and other major figureheads of this game do decide to do, those who actually spend on this game, and in my opinion, are actually in the place to make a call like that, I am happy to give voice to you guys and give you guys a video where you can explain what the boycott is about and all of that, and give that a little bit of wind, because for me personally, So I think probably the most discouraging part for me, I was talking with Arnold today, I was talking with all the creators today, with Urza, I was talking with Grid, and I was talking with Heinze, I was talking with everyone and their freaking dog. And I think one of the biggest things that discourages all of us is we just don't have confidence that anything's going to come of this right now. Because it just feels like CG, like you said, they're Gestapo, they've got all the power, and they're going to do what they want, and they're going to get away with it. And I would love nothing more than for this community to band together and take a stand. And so I just want you to know, if that's what you guys decide to do, I'm going to leave that to you guys to make that decision. But if you do, I've got your back, and I will give wind to that as much as I can.
Well,
So
you know me. You know me, Cubs. I mean, you know what I mean? You know me. You know
I know you.
how it goes within my community and stuff. And I will be telling everybody, yeah, put a halt on it, because we got to fucking lose. We're Americans. They can't take away our toys. We're gonna have fun whether they like it or not.
You took my banner, CG.
Banners.
It's not that big a deal. You know what I mean?
No.
It's not that big a deal.
Can I just say,
So,
guys, quickly, if I can jump in quickly, the thing is that I don't think we need to, because a lot of people are doing that themselves already.
There are.
Well, and I do think that their bottom line is going to be affected, but I think Fulbright's talking a little bit more an organized effort with specific demands.
Yeah.
So let me just say, Heinze, hold on.
Yeah, sorry, brother.
Let me just go before you go. So totally hear what Fulbright's saying, and Cubs, you know where I'm at from previous chats, and my roster. Heinze, unfortunately, my roster too. Being in your guild.
Oh yeah.
Let me just say, based on today, I'm done. 0. I am on the Cubs plan. 0 dimes. I'm done. 0 to CG.
So Fulbright calling for a spending boycott, Malpills pledging that he's not spending any longer.
I'm done.
Well,
I'm done.
And I'd like
done.
to say,
And that's 7.5 mil GP. Done.
Damn.
Sorry, Heinze. Apologies.
And
Dude,
thing
don't
here.
apologize. Whenever this is
I'm done.
When have I ever said, hey,
No, I know.
you need to keep up with the
you're good.
Joneses? That's
you're
one
good.
thing
But-
I've never said. If you come to my
No,
guild,
you haven't.
I
You're
don't
good.
tell
You're
you
good guy.
that you need to do this, because you know
I
what?
know.
We have a hell of a lot of fun anyway, regardless. So let's be clear about that. Now,
Right.
secondly,
But-
I think, as
but-
I said,
Done.
I don't think we need a boycott, because, to be honest, with the people that I've been speaking to in my community, and there's a hell of a lot out there that are probably pretty similar, a lot of people have scaled back their spending anyway because it's gotten to the point where it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue here. There's only so much that people will take. People are still going to have fun with the toys they've got, and people really aren't chasing the meta as much than they used to, in my opinion. There's certainly a lot of very competitive people like Fulbright, like Shadowlands. Like we've got a guild that, they are at the high end, the tip of the spear as well, like a few others. And they're going to continue to do whatever they're going to do. But I think as an overall, an overall assessment, I think you'll find that a lot of people have either scaled it back considerably or have stopped completely.
So just in this video, we've had Mall Pills. Real quick, I want to get a head count here because Mall Pills has pledged he's not spending. Fulbright sounds like he's about ready to do the same. Ram Bam, you're pretty high up in this discussion of spending. Is this where you are at too, or how are you? I don't mean to put you on the spot or put pressure on you. Nobody's going to judge you if you say otherwise, but I just want to give you a chance to say where you're at personally with your account.
Absolutely. So obviously I'm not at that level. I'm not at over
but
100K,
you were over $30,000 if I recall.
Absolutely.
That's significant. That's a whale.
It's significant. I have a 6.4 mil GP account. I have Supreme Leader Kylo Ultimate, all that stuff, right? I have toned it back down as of recent weeks. I have toned it down a lot. But this put me over the edge as well. So I have made it a personal pledge until I feel that this is righted. I'm not spending at all on this.
Wow.
There's no point to it to me. CG has done wrong too many times. EA has done wrong too many times. On that note, I think it's less of we are going to make an impact on CG. Now I hope that we make an impact. If we universally as a community stick together, band together, and stop the spending, and we make enough of impact on CG, I would hope that change comes. I highly, highly, highly doubt it at this point.
That's how I've always felt, and why I don't personally lead a charge myself, also because I don't spend myself. I don't feel like it's my place. But again, with someone like Fulbright talking that direction, this is all breaking, by the way, for anyone watching this video.
I'm there too.
This is unfolding right now on the video.
And at this point, Cubs, it's less for me about making an impact and more about banding together as a community to show that we stand by Arnold, that we stand by the wrong that was done to Arnold and the wrong that was done by CG as far as allowing cheating, but banning literally the top YouTuber, the guy that gives them the most in free advertising every single day. This is about us standing by him. We need to stand by him and show him where our allegiances lie. So if we all stand together, absolutely.
3 of you guys are more or less pledging no spending. Ranger, you were going to say something.
Well, I was going to say, Cubs, what would be really impactful if every content creator banded together and we didn't cover the game for a week or two.
Actually, Ranger, you're actually really onto something.
Wow.
Here's the most impactful thing that could happen. If a majority of the community didn't log into the game for 3 or 4 days, like not spend, like just did not log in on Monday, not log in until Friday, that the non-logins will shake CG more than the non-spending pledge BS.
Okay.
The fact that they will see 3 or 4 days, and if whether you like him or not, if you ask, I know he's not a SWGoH content creator, but if you ask Tony Scangili, who's an MSF and DSA content creator, but who has done game development, he will tell you they see the logins. If the majority of the community doesn't log in for 2, 3, 4 days, that ruins them more than 100 people saying, I'm not going to spend.
Okay, this is it. I think this is sensible, and I'll close the video with this, because all of this that the summary of all of this is that we're fed up, that this is unacceptable, that we haven't been treated well, that cheating needs to be handled well, and that Arnold's account should not be banned. And I am with you guys on this notion. And I'm going to call all my content creators out there, and if everyone is willing, Arnold, Mobile Gamer, Urzatron, Gridden, I don't want to make anyone sad for not calling you out. Heinzie and Rambam, you guys are here, and everyone else is willing to pick 2 days. I say we have it at 2 days of no content, no streams for this game. No.
6:15, 6:16, right? Monday, Tuesday. Don't log in.
Monday and Tuesday, no login, no spending,
No
obviously, because
daily,
you're not logging
no
in. Then
spending,
I will
don't-
support that.
Yeah. Don't.
And I'll
don't
talk with
look
them.
at the
I'll talk
account.
with them off the video about that. So,
Yeah.
we'll maybe give wind to that, and I'll run it by the content creators. But I want to wrap this up, and just for the purposes of this video, and just thank you guys for your insights. I think at the end of the day, we all care so much about this game. It's difficult with a studio that treats it this way, but the reason we're here, the reason why all of us are still here, and why we're sitting here talking for an hour, pouring our hearts out to our microphones and to everyone on Twitch, is because of how much we love this game and this community. We are a family, and I think that banding together is important right now. So anyone have any closing thoughts before we end?
Yeah, I do.
do.
I've got one thing to say, and I'm done. Hashtag we stand together.
Stand together.
Hashtag we stand together.
Hashtag we stand together. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining me for the video. Heinzie, Fulbright, Mall Pills, Rambam, and Ranger, thank you so much for your time today. I'm sure that this is going to start a lot more discussions off as we look towards the next week, potentially making a stand. So, all right, everyone. Thanks for joining me for the video. And as always, my brothers, don't forget.
Pew pew.